The night I lost my wife, I thought my world had ended. Every day since then, I've been trying to hold myself together for my daughter, Emma, even when the silence of our home felt unbearable. But nothing could prepare me for the night two frightened sisters knocked on my door, holding a letter that carried my best friend's last words. In that moment, my fragile world cracked open again, leaving me with an impossible choice: turn away from their pain, or step into a role I never asked for. What followed was a battle of grief, love, and survival that tested every part of me as a father, as a man, and as a human being. Do you believe in fate, in second chances, in life-changing moments that come when you least expect them? If yes, like this video and share your thoughts in the comments. The rain hadn't stopped all evening. I was folding Emma's school uniform when a knock rattled the door. Sharp, urgent, too late for visitors. "Dad." Emma's small voice called from the hallway. "Who's that?" "I'll check," I muttered, wiping my hands on my jeans. When I pulled open the door, two girls stood shivering on the porch. Their hair clung to their faces, clothes soaked through. The older one, maybe 12, wrapped her arm around the younger, who looked barely 8. Both stared at me with hollow, frightened eyes. My stomach sank. "Are you lost?" The older girl shook her head and pulled out a crumpled envelope from her pocket. She shoved it into my hands without a word. Rain smeared the ink, but the handwriting, my breath caught. I knew it instantly. It was Mark's. I tore my gaze from the letter. Where did you get this?" The younger one finally spoke, her voice barely a whisper. "Daddy said bring to you." Emma had come up behind me now, tugging at my sleeve. "Dad, who are they?" I couldn't answer her. My chest felt heavy, my hands trembling as I stared at the familiar letters spelling out my name. I wanted to believe it was some cruel mistake, but deep down, I already knew the truth. I pushed the door wider. "Come in. You'll catch your death out here." The older girl hesitated, eyes darting between me and Emma, then slowly stepped inside, pulling her sister with her. Their shoes left puddles on the floorboards. Emma frowned. "Dad, what's going on?" I forced a shaky smile. Let's just get them dry first." I fetched towels, handing one to each girl. The little one clutched it like it was a shield. The older one muttered, "Thanks," without looking at me. "Sit," I said, pointing toward the couch. My voice sounded strange in my own ears, too calm, like I was trying to convince myself I was in control. Emma crossed her arms, glaring at them. "Why are they here? Do you even know them?" I lowered myself into the chair opposite them, letters still clutched tight. "I think I do. At least, I know where they came from." I slid my finger under the damp flap and opened it. My eyes raced across the page, though every word felt like a stone dropping into my chest. If you're reading this, it means I didn't make it. Please take care of my girls. I trust no one else but you. My throat closed up. I gripped the paper harder, trying to steady the shaking in my hands. "Dad." Emma's voice broke the silence. "Who wrote that?" I swallowed hard. "My best friend, your Uncle Mark." Her eyes widened. "But where is he?" I looked at the two girls on the couch. Their faces answered the question before I could. The younger's lip trembled, and she buried her head into her sister's shoulder. The older one whispered, "He's gone." The room felt unbearably small, like the walls were pressing in. Memories of Mark flooded me. His laugh, his promises, the way he always told me he'd be there if I ever needed him. And now, in the cruelest twist, he'd left his children for me to protect. Emma frowned, her voice sharp. "So, they're supposed to stay here? With us?" I couldn't form the words. My mind screamed, "I can't do this." I could barely hold myself together for Emma. What made Mark think I could raise his daughters too? The older girl must have sensed my hesitation. Her eyes hardened as she asked, "Are you sending us away?" Her sister whimpered louder, clinging to her. The sight cut through me like a blade. I leaned forward, my voice rough. "No, not tonight. You're safe here tonight." Emma's shoulders slumped, disappointment written across her face. She didn't say anything, but the silence between us was sharp enough to wound. I turned back to the girls. What are your names? The older one straightened. Lily. She nudged the little one gently. This is Rose. Rose peeked at me, then quickly hid her face again. Lily and Rose, I repeated softly. Their names fell heavy on my tongue, like carrying someone else's life in my hands. The rain pounded harder outside. I rubbed my temple, exhaustion weighing me down. You must be hungry. Lily shrugged. Rose's stomach growled in response. Emma, grab some bread from the kitchen, I said. She hesitated, then stomped off. I heard the cabinet door slam. Lily muttered, We don't need much. You'll eat, I replied firmly. You've been through enough already. For a moment, no one spoke. The only sound was a clock ticking on the wall and the storm outside. I unfolded the letter again, even though I didn't want to read it. I'm sorry to ask this of you, but you're the only one I trust. Take care of them like your own. Promise me. My eyes blurred. My hand clenched the paper so tightly it nearly tore. I whispered to myself, Why, Mark? Why me? Lily's gaze stayed locked on me, searching, testing, almost daring me to break that promise. Emma came back with a plate of bread, dropping it on the table with more force than necessary. Rose reached for it timidly, whispering, Thank you. Emma just looked away. I leaned back, staring at the letter in my trembling hands. The words burned into me, heavy, unrelenting. Mark's last wish was now in my hands. I sat at the kitchen table long after everyone else had drifted off to the guest room. The letter lay in front of me, edges curled from the rain. Mark's words etched into my skull. Take care of them like your own. I pressed my palms into my face. How the hell am I supposed to do this, Mark? I whispered, Dad. Emma's soft voice startled me. She stood in the doorway, rubbing her eyes. You should be in bed. She frowned. I can't sleep. They're in my room. They'll only be there tonight, I said automatically, though the words tasted like a lie. Emma shuffled closer. Are they really staying? Forever? I exhaled slowly, staring at her little face, half defiant, half terrified. I don't know yet. Her lips tightened. I don't want sisters. My chest tightened. Emma, they'll take you away from me, she blurted. You'll love them more. I pulled her onto my lap, even as she fought me. No one, and I mean no one, will ever take your place. You're my heart, Emma. That won't change. Her voice wavered. But what if it does? I kissed her hair, whispering, It won't, but we might need to share our world a little more. Just for now. She buried her face into my chest, silent. I held her until her breathing slowed. When I finally carried her back to bed, I glanced at the spare room door. Faint whispers leaked through. Lily's hushed voice comforting Rose. I caught fragments. Daddy's gone. What if he doesn't want us? My stomach twisted. Back at the table, I unfolded the letter again, reading the same lines over and over, like if I stared long enough, Mark would walk through the door and take back this impossible request. Instead, I heard footsteps. Lily stood in the doorway, arms crossed, chin lifted like a shield. We don't need your pity. Her words hit harder than I expected. It's not pity. She narrowed her eyes. Then what is it? Obligation? Because my dad trusted you. I swallowed hard. Because he was my best friend. And because you're his daughters. That means something. Her lip trembled, but she masked it quickly. We can take care of ourselves. We've been doing it. You're 12, I said softly. You shouldn't have to. She flinched at my words, then looked away. If you don't want us, just say it. We won't beg. The defiance in her voice cracked something inside me. I stood, holding the letter between us. Your dad didn't ask me. He begged me. And my throat closed. I don't know if I'm good enough. But I won't send you away. Not tonight. Not tomorrow either. Her eyes finally met mine, shiny with tears she refused to shed. She gave the smallest nod and slipped back to the room. I collapsed into the chair again, my chest aching. How do I raise 3 children when I can barely hold myself together? The night blurred. I must have dozed off at the table because the next thing I felt was small hands shaking me. Dad, Emma whispered. It's morning. My neck was stiff, my eyes gritty. The smell of damp clothes still clung to the air. Lily and Rose stood behind her, both looking uncertain, like they weren't sure they'd still be welcome when the sun rose. Emma glanced at me, waiting for an answer. I rubbed my eyes. Breakfast. Let's start with that. The girls exchanged a nervous glance. Rose whispered, We can eat later, if there's not enough. I forced a smile, even as guilt stabbed me. There's enough for all of us. Emma muttered, 3 plates, under her breath, and I knew the battle was only beginning. I nodded toward the kitchen. Let's sit together. All of us. As we moved, I kept the letter folded in my pocket, its weight like a stone pressing against me. Mark's final plea wasn't going away. And ready or not, neither were his daughters. Let's sit together. All of us. The words felt heavy as I said them. Heavier still when 3 pairs of uncertain eyes looked back at me. Emma crossed her arms and stomped into the kitchen. Lily followed stiffly, her arm around Rose. I trailed after them, praying this wouldn't end in disaster. The table had always been just me and Emma. 2 plates, 2 glasses, our quiet routine. Now 3 extra places felt like strangers invading sacred ground. Emma dropped the box of cereal onto the table with a loud thud. There, they can serve themselves. Emma, I warned gently. What? I'm just saying. She poured her own bowl and sat with a scowl. Rose climbed onto the chair beside Lily, clutching the edge of the table. Is it okay if we eat this? Her voice was so small it nearly broke me. Of course, I said quickly. This is your home now, too. Emma snapped her head up. What? You said last night it was just for now. I froze. Emma, you lied. She pushed her bowl away, milk splashing onto the table. Lily's eyes hardened. We didn't ask to come here, she shot back. You think we wanted this? Emma stood, fists clenched. This is my house. My dad. Stop. I raised my voice louder than I meant to. Both girls froze. Rose's lip quivered, and she shrank into her chair. Emma's eyes filled with tears. My own chest burned with guilt. I lowered my voice. Sit down. All of you. Please. Emma sat reluctantly, arms crossed tight. Lily sat straighter, protective, her hand gripping Rose's. The silence was thick, broken only by the tick of the clock and the drip of milk on the table. I sighed and pushed my bowl toward the middle. Listen, I know this is hard. For all of us. Emma, you're scared I'll stop loving you. Lily, Rose, you're scared you don't belong here. But none of you are losing me. None of you. Emma whispered. It feels like I already did. My throat tightened. No, baby, you'll never lose me. You're my heart. But maybe our heart has to grow a little bigger now. Rose peeked up at me, eyes wide. Bigger hearts don't break. I swallowed hard. Sometimes they do, but they heal stronger. For the first time, a faint smile tugged at Rose's lips. Lily softened, though she didn't drop her guard. Emma just stared at her spoon, silent. I pushed the cereal box toward Lily. Here, share with your sister. Lily hesitated, then poured carefully into Rose's bowl. Rose whispered, Thank you, like it was the first kind word she said all morning. Emma glanced sideways, still pouting, but her hand reached slowly toward the milk jug. She slid across the table toward Lily without a word. It was small, fragile, but it was something. I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. Maybe we won't fall apart today. Still, doubt gnawed at me. How long can I juggle this? How long before Emma hates me for real? I forced myself to focus on the table, on the 3 plates that weren't mine. This was what Mark had asked of me, his last wish. I owed him this much. When the bowls were finally empty, I stood. All right, girls, why don't you get dressed? I'll take care of the dishes. Rose slid down quickly, whispering to Lily, Is it okay? Lily squeezed her hand. Come on. Emma lingered, eyes locked on me. Dad, do you really think this is going to work? Her voice was so quiet it nearly broke me. I crouched down, brushing a strand of hair from her face. I don't know, but I'm going to try. For you, for them, for all of us. Her lip trembled. I don't want to share you. I hugged her tight. You don't have to share me. You'll always have me. But maybe they need me too. She didn't answer, but she didn't pull away either. When she finally walked off to her room, I leaned against the counter, staring at the 3 bowls in the sink, 3 plates at breakfast, 3 hearts colliding under one roof, and me, barely holding together. I stood at the sink, staring at 3 bowls stacked on top of each other. Just a few days ago, it was only 2, mine and Emma's. Simple, predictable. Now the sight of those extra dishes felt like a reminder that nothing in my life would ever be simple again. I muttered under my breath, "What am I doing, Mark?" "Talking to yourself?" Emma's voice cut through. She leaned against the doorway, arms crossed. I forced a tired smile. "Just thinking. You always say that when you don't want to answer." She wasn't wrong. "How's homework?" She shrugged, hard and loud. Rose keeps crying and Lily tells her stories instead of letting me study. My chest tightened. "I'll talk to them." "No," Emma's eyes flashed. "I don't want you talking to them. I want them gone." Her words hit me like a slap. "Emma, I mean it." They ruined everything. She stomped away, leaving me gripping the counter until my knuckles went white. She's just scared, I told myself. She'll come around. But doubt clawed at me. What if she never did? That night, the fight started small. Lily refusing to share the bathroom. Emma slamming her door. Rose sneaking into my room because she couldn't sleep. By the 3rd night, I felt like I was drowning. At dinner, Emma pushed her plate away. "Why do we always have to eat what they want?" Lily shot back. "Maybe because your dad actually cares about us too." Emma's fork clattered. "He's not your dad." Rose burst into tears. "Stop fighting." "Enough." My voice thundered across the table. The silence afterward was deafening. Emma glared at me with wet eyes. "See? You're already taking their side." She ran to her room, slamming the door. Rose's cries grew louder. Lily wrapped her arms around her, glaring at me like I was the enemy. I sank into my chair, rubbing my temples. This house is breaking apart from the inside. Later that night, when the house had gone quiet, I passed by the spare room. I froze. Soft sobs filtered through the door. I leaned closer. Rose's voice muffled. "I miss Daddy." Lily whispered back, shaky, "I know. Me too. What if he forgets us? What if he sends us away?" My heart clenched. Lily's voice broke. "He won't. Daddy trusted him. He has to keep us. Even if he doesn't want to." Silence. Then more sobs. I pressed my forehead against the wall, eyes burning. "God, Mark, they're just kids. They lost you. And now they think I don't want them either." I backed away quietly, not wanting them to know I'd been listening. My chest felt like it was splitting open. In the hallway, Emma was waiting. She must have heard them too. Her arms were crossed, but her face wasn't angry anymore. It was uncertain, almost guilty. "Dad," she whispered, "they really think you don't want them?" Her question cut deeper than anything Lily had said. "I don't know what they think," I admitted. My voice cracked. "But I know they're hurting, just like us." Emma bit her lip. "But they're not Mom." "No," I whispered, "and they never will be. But they don't want to take her place. They just want somewhere to belong." Emma looked down, kicking at the floor. What if I don't want to share belonging? I crouched, lifting her chin gently. "Emma, love doesn't run out. I promise you, I can love them and still love you the same. You'll always be mine. Nothing changes that." Her eyes watered. She didn't answer, just hugged me tightly, like she was afraid I'd slip away too. When she went back to bed, I returned to the table. The letter sat folded in my pocket, its words echoing like a demand I couldn't escape. "Take care of them like your own." I stared at the darkened hallway. I wasn't sure how to fix this. But I knew I couldn't let those girls go to bed believing they weren't wanted. Not again. Not under my roof. I didn't sleep that night. I just kept replaying Rose's muffled cries, Emma's doubts, and Lily's sharp words. Morning light crept through the curtains, and I knew hiding inside these four walls was only making things worse. So I made a decision. When the girls woke up, I forced a steady voice. We're going out. All of us. No arguments. Emma frowned. Where? You'll see. The ride was quiet. Rose leaned against Lily, thumb in her mouth. Emma stared out the window, arms crossed. I gripped the wheel tighter than I should have, praying this wasn't a mistake. We stopped at the park, the one Emma's mom had loved. I hadn't been back since the funeral. My chest tightened as memories washed over me, but I swallowed them down. This wasn't about me. Not today. The girls scattered, Emma toward the swings, Lily guiding Rose to the slide. I sat on a bench, feeling the weight of the letter burning in my pocket. After a while, Lily walked over. Why'd you bring us here? I patted the spot beside me. Sit. She hesitated, then sat stiffly, hands clenched in her lap. I took a deep breath. Lily, I heard you and Rose last night. Her eyes shot wide. You were listening? I didn't mean to, I said softly, but I heard enough to know you think I don't want you here. She looked away, blinking fast. Do you? The question pierced me. Lily, your dad was my best friend. He trusted me with the most important thing in his life. You and Rose. Do you know how much that means? Her lips trembled. Then why do you look so tired of us? The honesty stung. I rubbed my face. Because I'm human. I make mistakes. I get overwhelmed. But tired doesn't mean unwanted. Do you understand? She studied me, searching for cracks in my words. Finally, she whispered, Rose thinks you'll send us away. I shook my head. No, you're not going anywhere. As long as I'm breathing, you have a home here. Tears slipped down her cheeks. She wiped them quickly, embarrassed. That's when Emma walked over, dragging her feet. She plopped down on my other side. What's going on? Talking. I said, want to join. Emma frowned but didn't leave. I glanced at her. Emma, I know this is hard. I know you miss Mom. And now I've asked you to share me when you don't want to. That's not fair, is it? Her jaw tightened. No. Lily lowered her head. We didn't ask for this either. The words hung between them, sharp and true. I exhaled. You're both right. None of you has asked for this. But here we are. We can either break apart or figure out how to hold on together. Emma kicked the dirt. What if I don't like them? I looked her straight in the eye. Then start with just not hating them. That's enough for now. Emma snorted a laugh despite herself. That's so, Dad. Even Lily cracked a small smile. Rose came running over then, cheeks flushed from playing. Daddy, Mr. Mark. She froze, eyes wide. Something in me broke. I bent down, pulling her into my arms. You can call me whatever makes you feel safe. Okay. She nodded, burying her face in my chest. For a moment, the four of us sat there in fragile silence. Not healed, not whole, but maybe, just maybe willing to try. As we left the park, Emma slipped her hand into mine. Lily walked close, keeping Rose steady. I thought of the letter again. Take care of them like your own. I whispered under my breath. I'm trying, brother. I'm really trying. I'm trying, brother. I'm really trying. The words still echoed in my chest long after we left the park. That night, I thought things would be better. Maybe we'd turn a corner. Maybe the storm was finally breaking. But storms don't end that easily. Dinner started quiet. Too quiet. Emma picked at her food. Lily sat tall, shoulders stiff. Rose hummed to herself, swinging her legs under the table. I cleared my throat. So, did anyone have fun at the park? Rose raised her hand like she was in school. I went down the slide 10 times. I smiled. 10? That's a record. She giggled. For a moment, I felt hope, but then Emma muttered, Yeah, she only counted because she can't do anything else. Lily's fork clattered. Don't talk to her like that. Emma shot back, "Why not? She's not my sister." Rose froze, her little face crumbling. "Emma," my voice was sharp, too sharp. She glared at me, eyes brimming. "You always yell at me, but never at them. You don't even care about me anymore." "That's not true." "Yes, it is." She pushed back her chair. "Mom's gone, and now you're replacing us with them." The words hit like knives. Lily stood, fists clenched. "We didn't ask to come here. Do you think we like being dumped in some stranger's house?" "I'm not a stranger." I snapped. "To us, you are." Lily shouted. Her voice cracked. "You're not Dad." The silence that followed was unbearable. Rose burst into tears, sobbing so hard her small body shook. I slammed my hands on the table. "Enough." The room stilled, but my heart raced out of control. My voice softened, breaking. "Do you think this is easy for me? I lost my wife. Emma lost her mother. You two lost your father. And now I'm supposed to hold all of that together with these hands that already failed once." I held them up, trembling. The girls stared, wide-eyed. "I don't know what I'm doing," I admitted, voice raw. "I'm scared every single day that I'm not enough. For Emma, for you, for anyone. But I swear to you I'm trying." The only sound was Rose's quiet sniffling. Lily sat slowly, biting her lip. Emma's shoulders sagged, her anger softening into tears. Finally, Emma whispered, "Dad, I just don't want to lose you too." Something inside me cracked open. I pulled her into my arms. "You won't. Not ever." Lily's eyes glistened, though she tried to look tough. She reached over, taking Rose's hand. "Come here." Rose crawled onto my lap, clinging to my shirt like I was her lifeline. For the first time, all three girls were close enough to feel each other's pain, and maybe, just maybe, each other's comfort. We sat like that in silence, the food growing cold. I thought, maybe this is how healing begins, not with perfect words, but with sitting in the wreckage together, refusing to walk away. Later, after the girls went to bed, I stayed at the table alone. The letter lay unfolded before me, my best friend's handwriting blurred as tears filled my eyes. "Take care of them like your own." I whispered, "I will. Even if it breaks me, I will. Even if it breaks me, I will." The words left my mouth, shaky and cracked, like a vow I wasn't sure I could keep. I wiped my face and folded the letter, ready to put it back in the drawer where it had sat since that rainy night. But as I slid it inside, the envelope tore just a little more. Something felt odd, heavier. I frowned, reaching in. My fingers brushed against another folded paper, thinner, tucked deep into the lining. My heart jumped. Another page. I pulled it out carefully. My hands trembled as I unfolded the hidden sheet. The handwriting was the same, my best friend's, messy and rushed, but unmistakable. The first line made my chest tighten. "Mark, if you're reading the second page, it means I didn't make it back." I sank into the chair, the room spinning. His voice felt alive again in the ink. The letter continued. "I know I'm asking too much of you. 2 kids are not a small favor, but I had no one else. You were the only one I trusted, not just because you're my friend, but because you know loss. You know how to fight through it. I believe you'll give them what I no longer can." I swallowed hard, blinking fast. Footsteps creaked behind me. Emma's sleepy voice whispered, "Dad, why are you crying?" I quickly folded the paper, but she saw. Her brows furrowed. "Is that their dad's letter?" I nodded. There was more. A page I didn't know about. She patted over, bare feet silent on the floor. "What does it say?" I hesitated, but the weight in her eyes told me she deserved to know. I read the words aloud, my voice breaking. Emma sat beside me, hugging her knees. When I finished, she whispered, "He trusted you the same way I trust you." I froze. She looked at me, eyes watery. "Even when I'm mad, even when I say things I don't mean, I still trust you." My throat closed up. I pulled her close, kissing the top of her head. "Thank you, baby." A soft knock startled us. Lily stood in the doorway, clutching her blanket, Rose half asleep in her arms. Her voice was small. Were you talking about her dad? Emma stiffened. I could feel the tension return, but I nodded gently. Yes, I found something he wrote. Do you want to hear it? Lily's lips trembled. Please. I read the letter again, this time slower. Rose stirred at the sound of her father's name, then buried her face against Lily's shoulder. When I finished, silence fell. Lily's tears slipped down unchecked. He really said that? That he trusted you? Yes, I whispered, with everything. Her knees buckled, and she sat on the floor, clutching Rose tightly. He really thought about us even when he knew. Her voice cracked. I knelt beside her, placing a hand on her shoulder. He never stopped thinking about you. Not once. Rose mumbled in her sleep, Daddy. Lily broke. She pressed her face into Rose's hair, sobbing silently. Emma shifted awkwardly, then surprised me by kneeling too. She reached out, hesitating before resting her hand on Lily's. I'm sorry, she whispered. Lily looked at her, startled. Emma's voice wavered. I was mean. I didn't want to share Dad, but I heard him tonight. And I think maybe we're supposed to share him. Together. My heart clenched. Lily nodded slowly, still crying. I don't want to fight anymore either. The girls sat there, hand over hand, their pain colliding and softening at the same time. I felt my friend's words burn into me. Take care of them like your own. I finally understood. It wasn't about being strong enough. It was about being willing to let my heart break open wide enough for all three. Emma whispered, Dad? Yes, baby. Her eyes flicked to Lily and Rose. If they're staying, does that mean they're my sisters now? The question hung in the air like fragile glass. I swallowed, my voice low. Only if you want them to be. She looked at Lily, at Rose, at me. Then she nodded just once. And in that moment, under the weight of grief and trust and new beginnings, something inside our broken little family shifted. Not healed, not fixed, but changed. Emma's small nod still lingered in the air, fragile but powerful, like a door opening. I whispered, Thank you. She shrugged, trying to hide the emotion in her eyes. Don't thank me yet. I still get the bigger room. Even Lily cracked a shaky laugh through her tears. Rose stirred, half asleep in her sister's lap, and mumbled, Family? I smoothed her hair gently. Yeah, sweetheart. Family. The word felt heavy, but not like a burden, like a promise. The next morning, I cooked pancakes. Not the box kind, but real ones from scratch, the way my wife used to. The kitchen filled with the smell of butter and vanilla, and for the first time in years, the house didn't feel haunted. Emma came in first, yawning. She sniffed the air. You're showing off. Maybe, I said with a grin, but it's working. Rose skipped in, hair sticking up in every direction. She gasped at the sight of the pancakes. It's a mountain. Lily followed, quieter, her eyes scanning the room like she still wasn't sure if this was safe to enjoy. I set plates down. Sit. Eat. No fighting. That's the rule. Emma smirked. You'll break it first. Probably, I admitted, flipping another pancake. For a while, there was only chewing and the sound of Rose humming happily. It was the most peaceful breakfast we'd had yet. Then Emma put down her fork. Dad! I looked up. She hesitated. Can we maybe put Mom's picture in the living room again? The request caught me off guard. Her photo had been boxed away since the funeral. Too painful to look at. Lily shifted uncomfortably. Is it okay if we see it too? Emma's eyes darted to hers. I held my breath, waiting for the tension to return. But instead, Emma nodded. Yeah, she'd probably want you to. My throat tightened. Then, after breakfast, we'll do it together. Later, we stood in the living room, the four of us. I opened the box slowly and lifted out the framed picture. Her smile looked back at me, warm and alive, and for the first time, it didn't crush me. Emma whispered, Hi, Mom. Lily and Rose glanced at each other, unsure. Finally, Rose waved shyly at the picture. Hi. I cleared my throat. This is the woman who taught me how to love pancakes, how to sing off-key in the car, and how to hold on when everything else falls apart. She was the strongest person I ever knew. Emma leaned against me. She liked them. Lily's eyes glistened. Do you think she'd be okay with us here? I turned to her. I think she'd be proud. She always told me love wasn't something you split. It was something you grew, and now it's grown. The girls stared at the photo, their silence speaking louder than any words. That night, after the girls were asleep, I sat on the porch with the letter again. The pages were worn now, soft from being opened too many times. I whispered into the night, I did it, brother. Not perfectly, not easily, but they're safe. They're loved, just like you wanted. For the first time, the ache in my chest felt lighter. Behind me, the door creaked. Emma padded out, wrapping a blanket around her shoulders. Talking to him again, I smiled faintly. Yeah. She sat beside me. Do you think he can hear you? I don't know, I admitted, but I like to think so. She leaned on me, quiet for a long time. Then she whispered, Dad, thanks for not giving up. My throat tightened. I kissed her forehead. Never. Not on you. Not on them. Not on us. The stars stretched above us, endless and bright. For the first time, I didn't feel like I was carrying the weight alone. I wasn't just a single dad fumbling in the dark anymore. I was part of something new, something broken but rebuilding, a family. And no letter, no storm, no ghost of the past could take that away from us now.